Well, no, I just decided tonight to actually give you an update on this clock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain something I saw last night. I saw one of these on eBay for sale, and the guy wants £325 for it. And the thing that I was rather annoyed about, I want to show you something. I can put this back. A guy is selling it. And the thing that I'm a little bit peeved about, I'll get it right if I can, there, is the regulator on the one he's selling is cocked over off the undersea plate. He's claimed that he's serviced it. Well, it sounds to me like the amplitude on the balance is weak. That's why he's had to cock that over. Make it faster. It could be the hairspring is too long, it could be the mainspring, I don't really know. But I wouldn't buy that clock if it was supposed to be professionally serviced. If that was, this bar was skidding off that way somewhere, and it should be on that plate, on this actual plate here, where it's the regulator, or as I call it, the regulo. If it's off that plate, it was never designed that way, so there's obviously a problem with it. And I get very annoyed when I see people selling things as service and it's obviously not right. And it's also got a dented case. And if it was a professional, why didn't he try to not get the dents out of it? I'm not saying you can get all the dents out, but perhaps some bit of effort being made would have been something. So what I'm going to do is put that regulator back to where it was again. And but as I say, there are things to look out for. And the other thing, hang on. No, I haven't got it, it's upstairs. I bought another trench watch, and the guy claimed that the balance wheel was moving. Yes, it was tottering, it's broken on the underside. So I paid £41 for it, it's probably scrap. But lucky I got the original trench watch strap, actually the original type, the strap. So I put that on the watch, I got this going. But anyway, that's a little bit about what to look for in these clocks, is what the regulator is like. And last night I was on about some people swapping out escapements. I'd rather it had the original escapement when the clock was made, even if it's not 100%, rather than having a foreign one, what I call a Swiss one. This clock here is a combination clock. It contains a barometer as well. This one will want cleaning, and I'm just going to show you that has got a replacement escapement in it. As you can see, it stands out like a sore thumb because even the metal's different, and people think they're doing a favour by fitting those in. The old escapement can be repaired, and to put the wrong escapement in it just makes the clock, I would call it forking. In other words, the longest word in the English language, utterly worthless and valueless once you start messing around with it. Some people are sticklers for keeping things original. And the also thing is they've also hand painted that and made a bloody pig's ear of it. And that will need wire brushing, it's iron and spraying or something done properly. The brass will need cleaning. That movement is a filthy animal, and that pin is dropped, that's holding the gear on keeps dropping down, so that's going to need to be looked at as well. So my next project is to strip and clean this one, sort that pin out down here, and see if I can get an original escapement for that. best way to do is to buy a clock with woodworm in with the same movement in, and then do it that way. That's the way I find, and you know at least you've got a working escapement. Anyway, so that's a little bit of an update on those. And the other thing is, I would just call it clocks, is that it's a bit dark in here because I turned all the lights out. This one is my Philip Morway clock, and I got a problem trying to get that to keep time. You see it's half a minute out, so you click the thing back one click on the regulator, then it's 2 minutes out. You know, then you click it one forward and nothing happens. 2 forward, nothing happens. 3 forward, nothing happens. And then when it's almost right, you click it once and it all goes to pot. So I'm not quite sure. I think those sprocket regulators are more trouble than they're worth. But you can't adjust the pendulum because it hasn't got any screw on it. Well, it has a screw, but it hasn't got a knurled thing. I bought the clock mainly because I wanted a spare movement for my Portico clock. It's £90, this one. You pay that for a movement. And I thought I could sell the case and get my 90 quid back. But the clock is signed on the back, signed on the movement. I think it's probably worth more than I paid for it, so I'll probably end up, who knows, putting my cracked face onto that, putting 200 on it, and putting that better face on the other one. This is the Portico clock I bought on eBay, and very funny clock, because I don't know who made it, but there's not a straight angle in the case anywhere. The columns lean at different angles. The bottom of the case is at a square, and so's the top. I think the guy that must have made that case must have been, excuse my language, freaking blind. Or didn't have a set square or even a tape measure. It must have just been done by eye. And but it is one of the first examples of a Portico clock. It's non-sprocket regulator, plus it's got threaded. It's got that little bob. A lot of the later ones had a much better looking pendulum than that, and also a dome. This one has got an enclosed movement. It's got a drum round it, and that was obviously made like that. So I would say that this one's probably about 1830s, maybe a bit earlier. But it keeps virtually perfect time. As I say, I've cleaned it up. There was a piece of veneer missing here. I couldn't get veneer with the right height. It did have a little line in it, the same as that side's got a little line. So I managed to recreate that. But unfortunately it's slightly different. And I managed to shape the veneer. I glued it on first and cut it with a razor blade and shaped it. I've got to put a bit more coating to make it a bit darker. Never be perfect. But the thing that annoyed me, if you have a look at the case, here and here, have you noticed something? The bloody height's wrong. It's lower this side than it is that side. And if you look at the columns, they're actually sloping. And the top, let's have a look at the pediment on the top. And I don't know whether you've noticed, it's actually sloping downwards to the left. And so I don't know who did it. And this bit on the top here, when I unglued it, it rocks. It's not flat on the bottom. So actually when I put it onto here again, it rocks. It only glues in the middle. So I'm not quite sure who made that. Probably someone in France that was absolutely pissed on wine. And the guy I bought it on said there was one hairline crack there. No, there's not. There's 3, maybe 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 hairlines on it. So there was more than what he told me. You don't see them till the sun's on it. And being on this dresser when the sun comes through, it looks a bit ugly. So I'm going to try and get another face. If not, I'll raid the face on the other one and put that one on the other one and flog the other one. I do like that clock. It's one of my favourites, that one. I've always wanted one of these. and I got a quartz one and it was crap, and I said I got to get original, and I saw this one cheap. Most of them go between 400 and 800. This one was 200, so I thought I'll buy this one, even though it's not perfect, and I'll do the best I can with it. So that's a bit of a clock update. I'm going to go upstairs now. It's going to get awfully dark, and I'm going to show you one of my bracket clocks. I've actually put a new escape wheel in there wet, so excuse me for the darkness, and it's in the bathroom because I've got nowhere else to put it in a one bedroom place, have I? This clock here, it says mapping and web on it, but it's got a Smith's roundy in it. What had happened is that I cleaned it, and I accidentally broke the escape wheel when I cleaned it, and so I was rather silly. But this one now is keeping virtually perfect time. In fact, it's kept perfect time since Saturday. It hasn't lost a game more than a couple of seconds of looking at the dial in I suppose Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's 4 days, because it was Saturday morning. And what we're going to do now is come in here. That one here is a Coventry Astral, and that one I serviced. The movement, the main movement, I've got to do the escapement plate next, which I will do, and that's accurate within 2 minutes a week. In fact, I can get it better than that. Really nice movement, very nice burr walnut clock. So that's a little poke around Jeff's clocks and an update on the metal clock. And what I thought I'd do now is excuse the video moving around, because I've got to go back downstairs again. So this is why you're seeing the place in the dark. And what I'm going to show you now, I've just got it out my cupboard, is this other trench watch that I've got. What to look for when buying a trench watch. This trench watch here is a large trench watch. Let's try and see if I can dull the light a bit. There it is. Now, I was told the balance wheel was okay, it was swinging. Well, it's not swinging, it's tottering. You can see it's just floating around there. So the balance wheel is broken. So whether I can do anything with that, I don't know. I could buy a ton of watches and every single balance wheel won't fit. So it's probably knackered. But what I did get off it is this trench watch strap. And so what I'm going to do is take it off and show you. Now, most people know I've been doing this trench watch, which I've had on eBay. There you are. And this is the strap I put on it. And that is an original trench watch strap. And I'll tell you why. On the back, it's definitely the original strap. It even fits the back of the watch, as you can see. It's even got the leather backing to stop the gunmetal attacking your wrist. These were made for this type of watch. Gunmetal watches, wristwatch. Because then the iron would rust into your sweat, and because it's an iron watch, and interfere with your wrist. So if you look at this one, it's got the original strap now that came off that other watch. Now, I paid £41 for this scrapper. A bit upset about it, but actually, to buy that strap on eBay, an original one of these, because I saw one last year, somebody wanted £40 for it. It was actually £39. So in a way, I've got some spares parts, and I've got an original strap. So there's something to be glad about, I suppose. But this is a nice watch because it doesn't have it has a pull-out winder instead of a pin set, which is very advanced for them. So I might be able to find another one. There was one on eBay, same watch. It's actually working, so it might be worth me buying that one and then keeping this one for parts to keep it going. You hardly ever see the gunmetal ones, and lately a number have showed up. Half a dozen have shown up in the last month. Normally you don't see more than 1 or 2 of these a year, so I don't know what's happened there. Anyway, I'm going to say bye, put my other 2 clocks away, and I'm going to watch this. But do excuse the moving around with my camera, and because it's this video, I call it Clocks on the Move, because I've been moving around showing different things, and I got about 12 minutes left, so I don't want to be too long on here. But I got a couple of clocks in the cupboard here. One of them I paid £30 for. It's a China clock. There you are, that China clock here. That is, so excuse me if it's a bit out of focus. This camera doesn't seem to like refocus in the video mode. And that other one is a Jerry, what I call a German Black Forest clock. They're both working. Originally this had a China one and a timepiece only movement in, but someone's added a striking movement, but there's nowhere to put a bell and there's nowhere to put a spring, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to try to make a bell bracket, but it's how you're going to attach it to a ceramic China case. How you're going to actually attach the bell. There's no board on the bottom, so I can't even put a rod down there. The only thing I could do is attach the bell to the back, and then how do you adjust the hammer with the door shut? I could do it, but we'll just have to look on that. So anyway, that's a little bit about Jeff's clocks. And I'm sorry about the wavy video, but I must admit my favourite one is the Portico. I've always liked Portico clocks. I don't know why, there's nothing really, but I must admit I do like that drum clock, that officer's drum clock as well. I quite like anything. It reminds me of a scientific instrument. The clock that I've actually got that's very similar, I've just showed you, this one, combination, I call it my tit clock. It looks like a pair of tits. And the clock here, fortunately it's got a brown stain on the dial. It's a paper dial, or as I call it, a papyleria dial. Now I doubt whether this was cheap, so why they couldn't put who made this a decent ceramic dials on it, I don't know. And this thermometer's been changed. It's got a Short Brothers badge on it, that's modern. It's obviously the original was broken. So I'm going to clean this one up. I did buy another paper face for it, but unfortunately it's been photostated, and the writing, instead of being black, it's brown. And it's all wavy, it's all spotty, it's just low quality print. I'm not putting that on there, so what I'm going to try and do is take this to a photographer's, get them to scan this, and then laminate it onto some card for me, and then they will scan it and get rid of that stain. Probably cost me, but the other side seems fine. This is the barometer side, and the barometer works. I'll just take the back off the barometer to show you, and it's just a normal barometer cell in the back, nothing special, but it's all been tested and it's all going to come apart, and as you can see it's ticking away there. I don't like that bloody escapement, but I'll try and see if I can get an original escapement for it, because those are worth money. I could get at least 50-60 quid for that because it's new. And so what I'm going to try and do is see if I can get a scrap clock for 40-50 with a good escapement, and then I'll get my money back and I'll still have the movement for free for if I can find one the same. So the only thing I got to deal with is that pin that's loose in there. Anyway, and we'll leave it at that, and Thank you very much for watching my boring videos about clocks. Or as I call them, my boring videos.